Hey everyone, this is David. I'm just happy to make another video. So it's been a while. We only have 10 subscribers. YouTube doesn't recommend your videos to anyone, so what I miss is maybe there's no one questioning or commenting. I need motivation sometimes. You know, I have kind of high hopes to share the full scope of, my story with mental illness, mental health recovery, being a veteran of mental illness to the point where it's you earn the title of survivor, and I think you earn that title once you can say you are a survivor and you have that recognition. That's the day that, hey, you know, that's huge. So that's kind of what my channel would be about. To bring recognition for other people that life doesn't have to be scary with mental illness. There's a lot of stereotypes out there that you might think you fit, other people have about you, and I just think there needs to be more people sharing their story where you can see someone's story and say, oh, yeah, you know, I can relate to that, and that's important. So that's why I'm here making a video, trying to find a nice space, just something a little different. I think I was by a brick wall in the last videos, and so I'm just trying to find a homey place. This looks nice for tonight, and just some place where I can share a video whenever I feel like it. That's important. Before my channel maybe takes shape, get into some more subject types. So if you just want to listen to me ramble for a little while, then welcome aboard. I'll try to maybe hit a few topics, hopefully not get too off topic, but definitely, yeah, let's see. So tonight is Christmas Eve. Hopefully everyone had a good Christmas. I did. I had a little caffeine this morning, and I typically do not, take any drug. So one thing that you should know about myself is that very strong advocate of learning how to deal with my mental illness without any pharmaceutical medication. And I'm at the point where I can actually take full responsibility for my action. I'm about 13, 14 years diagnosed with mental illness, and I have been, let's see, the last time I was in the hospital was 2017 though, and I had to go on medication for being in the hospital, and after the hospital I went right off. Because I have bipolar? No, because I've experience with my mental illness, and I knew my recovery can be very fast. So I know exactly how fast I can recover. So it's been about, let's say, 5 years that I haven't taken any medication. And prior to that, the first, let's say I've had mental illness for 10 years. So the last 5 I've actually been medication free. It's becoming more like 6, 7 years now. And the first 5 I definitely was on medication, and if I stopped to experiment to be like, no, I need some time off medicine, even if I did it on my own terms, yeah, that level of responsibility is still not there that I have, with all the experience that I've gained over such a long period of time. So for me, a cup of coffee in the morning, 3 times a year. I seriously pretty much only drink maybe coffee 3 times a year because it's an event. It is taking a drug. For me, I run a little bit hot, so I run on the manic side. I can usually stay away from depression with an experimental diet of bananas. No, I'm just kind of joking, but I eat a lot of banana smoothies, and that, yeah, if you want just a quick tip or like, oh, I'll try that, yeah, I don't really get depressed too often. Potentially get some anxiety, but not a whole lot. Is that the entire part of the equation? Just eating banana smoothies? No. For future videos, maybe I can kind of share, that's a third of it. The other third is living a stress-free life, which is very difficult to do because you have to actually like take charge of your life, and in such a bold way. Like, I'm taking charge of my life to like setting my bar a little bit lower. Like, oh, you think that's easy, right? Oh, you just set your bar lower. No. People set their bar where it is and never touch it. So it takes some audacity to even look at whatever bar you set for yourself in life, grab it, and take it down a couple rungs. That's, incredibly, so basically, if I'm just talking about mental illness in general, yeah, it's all the same, top 10 list, things that you can do to make your life incredibly easier and safer, and so in the top 10 list that I made in my other video, I never talked about safety or like being safe or creating a safe environment. And so, to look at the, from both perspectives, taking a medication from a trained psychiatrist to give you that medication, working with a plan, that can be a very safe environment, And then so with mental illness, you're trying to look for those things that are making your life safer. And so maybe we'll just stick with that as a topic for this video, because it's a really good one. Let's see, I was substitute teaching at an elementary school, and I was just so impressed that, they had four core values of like, well, the first one was safety, like literally safety. And then I don't even know what the other three were, because that just stuck with me. I actually, found myself talking to my uncle, and not to put this on, it's just not to put this on him as like bringing it up, but I was just like, I instantly, highlighted that. I was just like, oh, this school, one of their number one or whatever of their core values, or maybe it wasn't the number one, but it actually is. This is their mission statement. I was like, is having being safe, just being safe. And he was just like, oh, he was, I don't know, he was kind of taken aback, like, oh, they should be learning something, or I don't know, it just kind of felt that way. I was just like, oh, that didn't resonate with him when I shared it to him, so he didn't have the same experience. And that's fine, because that's how we, we share our opinions, and then we're like, oh, okay, and then we reshape the way we look at things. And for me, I probably, let's say there's a genetic part of mental illness. Well, the non-genetic part, probably 99% of the diagnosis and the height of my challenges with mental illness stem from bullying in middle school, which is such a terribly young age. Like, oh, middle schoolers, oh, you're kind of becoming an adult. It's like, oh my God. You'll then, I'm 37, and you look at, and I faced a lot of stresses just right out of college, dealing with not bipolar, but depression, diagnosed depressive disorder. And to think you're an adult out of college is just, I just look at college age, and it's just like, no, you're just a child. If you're if you have skills, you know, work skills, great, but yeah, I just, it's, so you have that. I mean, it's just like, that's still pretty innocent time. And then looking at middle school, for anyone to get bullied at that young an age like myself is just absolutely insane. And it's, it's like, I'm a survivor, maybe, yeah, I mean, I was super, yeah, just at the bottom of life. And the crazy thing is I didn't tell anyone about it, so I just kept that bottled up, it's just like, screwed on like a tight lid. And, suicide maybe just wasn't a thing, as it, that's a two-way street, because suicide is more of a topic, but at the same time, it's less taboo of a conversation, where it's appropriate at any time to talk about suicide. Just to, in any healthy conversation, I bring it up all the time, just so it's not taboo and that's an important concept with mental illness is, when people are at their rock bottom or at their most manic, that's not the time to make a plan. The time to make a plan and start talking about things is before that. So I was not safe in middle school. Not by the least. Emotionally, just as much as anyone else. So that's survivor, just like anyone else that got extremely bullied. I would say, not that it's like, I was probably I felt like I was on the top 10 list of people that got bullied, and sadly, I don't think I was number one on that list in my school, because it's too hard for people to have that, have that part of having such traumatic trauma, at such a young age. So this school's mission statement was, this school will promote a safe, or like their current mission statement, it's not their 4 core values. This school will promote a safe, caring environment which celebrates diversity and motivates students to achieve their individual potential. That sounds just awesome. And become lifelong learners. So I'm so glad that this elementary school still has that core value of being safe. Because the way the brain develops, as I substitute taught elementary, middle school, and high school, I did a little bit of research on, education, and basically, I mean, yes, you are taught how to read and you get better at reading, taught how to do math and get better at math, but to a certain degree, the brain just, is constantly growing anyway. So if you decided to, as an adult, if you never took, too many math classes and wanted to learn more math, you could go do it. You could start at where you left off, and you'd probably have an easier time, than, children that are still developing their brains. So, I mean, kids' brains, they go through developmental stages, so it's like you can get smart anytime you want, but the most important thing for your little brain growing is to make sure you don't have a lot of trauma in your life. And so I'm just so proud that school has a mission statement of safety, because if you're in a safe environment, you're just not going to have that trauma, and and you're going to maybe have motivation. So I'm glad I shared that with you, because that's I'll pretty much always have bipolar and schizoaffective disorder for the rest of my life. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I guess I don't have to deal with bullying for the rest of my life. And so that's the other aspect of how I take care of myself. One, I set that bar lower. But then two, I definitely avoid, I try to, so reduce anxiety. How do I reduce anxiety? Well, I just assess the situation. If I want to do something, I go do it. If something does not sound, and I do not care that I have a handicap that other people, like, I don't do peer pressure. So, like, if someone's, and I'm getting better at, like, not feeling sorry, just telling people right off the bat, like, hey, I might be able to do that, but if I can't, I'm not going to. Simple as that. And so I think most of my friends, family, they know exactly, how I can keep myself from, getting into a traumatic state with anxiety. Because with mental illness, it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. You have all these subtlety. You have anxiety, depression. Anyone can have. You can be bipolar, or you can have schizophrenia, and still have anxiety. Depression is kind of wrapped. Anxiety and depression are shrouded in most mental illnesses. Especially anxiety itself is a precursor to, is part of most mental illnesses and most mental health diagnoses. And outside of mental health diagnosis, people can relate to anxiety, and so it's just one of those things where, you can do things to help your anxiety level. And sometimes it takes some brutal honesty to be like, yes, I can do that, or no, I can't. And that's important. Anyway, that's kind of maybe where I want to leave it. Being safe, and glad I had a cup of coffee this morning so I can share another video on mental health with anyone who would like to know more about mental health, has questions. Feel free to come up with a topic that I can do a video on if you have any questions. Thank you, and looking forward to the new year.